Long ago, was so long ago. Long ago, was so long ago. Close your eyes, imagine all those memories in your mind. Realize the downfall of that time has made you wise. Long ago, was so long ago. Every day I awake and find you standing there by me. Say you lost your way. I don't believe a single word you have to say. Oh no, long ago, was so long ago. Long ago, was so long ago. If I did what I know now, it's my mind, in my mind, in my mind. Long ago, was so long ago. Now I know that bygones be bygones from now on. Live for today. Keep memories in your mind. They'll always say, they say, long ago, was so long ago. Long ago, was so long ago. It's in my mind. So long So the guitarist and lead singer of Herbs, or who that was, Willie Hona, passed away last Sunday. So it's actually 7 days since he passed away here first in New Zealand. And Herbs are a legendary New Zealand reggae band, and like loved throughout the Pacific. Like seriously, loved throughout the Pacific. And so that was quite a huge loss. He had cancer, so he was battling with cancer for quite a while, and he passed away. Oh, wow. So I'm supposed to be doing like a tribute show, and I haven't gotten to it yet, but we'll get to it soon. I've got it all planned and everything. So welcome everybody to the Toys Collecting and Unboxing Show. Today we've got an amazing lot of ensemble of stuff to talk about, but mainly Playmobil. I don't know much about it. Hopefully, we'll learn together, and Stu might be able to bring some more, more to it. But also, he's going to review my comic book that just was released this last week, 10 days ago or so, and he actually backed that on Kickstarter and he'll be reviewing that. And I haven't asked him about it. I'd rather have him tell you guys and tell me actually what he thought of it. The other thing is that we've got another Kickstarter starting up soon, so we're preparing for that, getting all the little artwork in and some new pages of covers because we're going into Portuguese as well as into Spanish. So I want to do special covers for those countries, people who are back in that. So thank you for joining us. And Stu, take it away.
Hey guys, this is Big Stu from Borger, Texas, 1.21 gigawatts, comics, toys, and nostalgia. Yeah, I'm here with you guys tonight. And did you want me to talk about the comic book now?
1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts. That is the name of my store. It's also the amount of electricity needed for time travel. And that's how you're going to feel when you step into my store. You're going to feel like you step back into 1985. My store is all about the comics, toys, and nostalgia. If you have that nostalgia itch that needs to be scratched, come to my store. It's on 601 North Main Street, Borger, Texas. Again, I am 1.21 gigawatts, comics, toys, and nostalgia. The greatest toy and comic shop in a 50-mile radius in the great panhandle of this great state of Texas.
1.21.
There you go. That's Stu's store.
Yeah, man. So this is what I got on the Kickstarter. I didn't. I backed one of the lower tiers, to be honest with you, but I just wanted to get the book so I could read it and support my friends, you know. And this is really good. This is a really good print that I got. I really like this artwork. I really like that she's on the at the London Eye. It looks like, is that correct? At the London Eye,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, it's the London Eye.
Yeah, I think it's a beautiful artwork. I love the design of her suit, you know, and all that stuff. It's really good. This is really good artwork. So, and then the Kickstarter I backed, I don't know which tier it was. It came with.
Did you laminate it? It looks like you laminated it.
I put it in a protector.
All right.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
that it would stay nice and straight. It also came with these cards here, which is pretty cool. They come. I like these because they're like little file cards. Gives me a little bio on the back.
Yeah.
So it's really, I like that. That was really cool. And you know, the other thing I really like that your comics came with a protective cover. Oh, this is beautiful. You know, for the comic book collectors that are out there, you know, this is a great thing to do. I immediately put it in my a protective sleeve and whatnot. And I read one. I took this cover off of one of them. Read this one.
That is a spot foil. Look at the beauty of that.
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful. It's a great.
Well, I'm seeing it in more detail today because, like the other day, when we were putting it out there, when we did a live stream of it with Hawk and you were showing it, his camera and his lighting wasn't that clear as yours is now, so I can actually see it in great detail what it looks like. So this is awesome, man.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I read the comic book today. I read it once.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I think the artwork in there was really good. Was good. You know, the only thing that it felt a little more. It didn't feel comic book artish. It felt more like Saturday morning cartoon artwork, kind of like thing. Not quite as much detail as I would normally like to get, but it was enough to make it work. The story so far, it was good. I had a little problem with some of the flow of the word flow where the word bubbles were. But in some of those cases, I think you were trying to convey a little bit of confusion. So trying to read it, and you know, there's a natural flow to comic book reading, and I kind of missed it on some of the panels. And there is I did notice I don't know if you meant it, but it looked like a little bit of a typo on one of the panels. And it was when the general was talking to the other soldier, and he was saluting him, and you know, and the way you had it pointed was, I think you meant for the general to say both lines, but you had the general saying one line and the other guy saying the line as well, where I didn't think it made sense that he was saying anything. He was being dismissed, you know. But that's just,
I think it was. I think there was a subordinate, wasn't there?
Yeah. So when he's being dismissed, the general doesn't want anything else, usually doesn't want any other information from him. You know, he's like, I got enough, you're out. But that's just little things, and I'm not, not a big deal about that. I think the world building is pretty cool. I read the intro at the beginning, where you have 3 different planets that are developing these super beings. The word that you say that you have written in there, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like it's like a Superman or Superman type.
Yeah,
people.
it's actually because this whole where it all starts is Romania.
Mm.
So it's Romanian for Superman.
Okay.
You know, so it's Superman. That's the
Super.
way I pronounce it. I'm sure the Romanians actually pronounce it in their own language in a different way, right?
Yeah.
And like, yeah, that's what so I pronounce it Superman, and because it's based in the whole, without giving too much away, it's Romanian based.
Yeah.
Because it's,
Yeah, and as far as the world building, I thought that was pretty good. I like it that it's in our time. It's like a couple of years in the future, but not so far in the future where it's where it's not familiar. I like that it's familiar. And then I'm sorry, the character development, well done. I think the character development is very well done in there.
cool.
That's just enough to understand what's going on with the characters and understand where they're at in this world.
Yeah.
But not enough for us to be overexposed, where you're leaving enough for us to like want to see the next issue. I enjoy that. That was pretty cool. I like that you have different aspects that you've already established villains and superheroes, and you have people that are, we don't know who they are yet, that are being established, and it's always fun to have that kind of mystery going into the second issue. And then the overall production of the book, oh my goodness, fantastic. I me, I worked for a comic book publisher, and I'm big on quality comic books, because you spend a lot of money on comic books nowadays to get them.
Exactly.
And
you don't want to get something like that doesn't live up to your dollar value. I think that's most important to me. It's like if you're going to pay a certain amount of money, you expect a certain amount of money value back.
Yeah, and I tell you, it was refreshing. I'll be frank with you. I was a little scared that I was going to get some really like subpar comic book, that really flimsy type of a book, and I'm like, but I want to support my friends. That's the most important thing is you got to support your friends. And when I got it, I was like, oh my goodness, this is fantastic. These books are really high quality, done very well. I mean, they're just. I'm just over the moon about how well they're done. Just to give you an idea, and the idea that the people that printed them put the covers over top of them to maintain the cover the covers of the comic books. I really enjoyed that, and I also love
they get scratched, they get like when they're handling and stuff. And this is the difference between Kickstarter and I think just your stores, because they're already they're not really looking to protect the book, because and I don't mean the stores, I mean the mass manufacturing, right? You got hundreds of thousands of books, so there's no point in like, oh, they get treated like they're just another piece of paper. Whereas for us as Kickstarter, because we value, because unlike me, I'm like, as soon as I get a comic, it goes into a sleeve because I value that comic book, because not on even my friend's comic book, right? When he his one goes into a sleeve as well, because I value his comic book and his creation. And I think that's the difference we need to bring back when it comes to the whole the art side of things, right? To value the art and the creativity that comes with comics, because if there's someone there that's taking hours and hours and hours to create this, and then you're just going to treat it like that. And I hate it when people like, I know some people don't like me touching with my fingers, and that's like extreme, right? But the people that just basically twist the paper, I'm like, don't, I get on, this is art. You wouldn't do this to a fine art or painting. If you're going to like treat it with kitty gloves with a fine art, why can't you treat comic books the same way?
That's true. That's true. It is an art form. Comic books are an art form, and you know, people don't understand, you know, that there is value to these things, to these comic books. And
Yeah.
you know, the other thing is they've I think in some point it's, you know, in some cases comic books literature in general are more important or more artistic than ancient paintings and things like that in some cases,
Yeah.
because it's something that is bringing contributing to the world or to the country, or making a statement, making some sort of you know, having some sort of a voice that you can actually hear. You know,
Yeah.
X-Men was a allegory for the civil rights movement. You know,
Yeah.
things like that. I mean, it's super important. It was very easy to look at. But
Yeah.
as far as your book, as far as the comic book, man, um, I would give it a solid. You know, I'll give it a solid B on that. I mean, it's above average. It's
Yeah.
obviously not the greatest book I've ever read in my life, but I'm very proud to know the writer and have a friend
Yeah.
that is writing the book, and it's good. It's good. It's worth getting. It's worth trying to, you know, get all of the issues to. So if I can do it, I'm going to probably support the next Kickstarter to make sure I get issue number 2. You know,
Yeah.
so it was a nice book, you know, and not overly sexualized, which I love.
Well, it was an all ages book, so I didn't want to go that way. And because it had to be for all ages, had to be for young kids, get them into reading, and so that, you know, because the A cover is going to be on the store, right? So for everybody to read, and so that way that like anybody could, you know, read it, and doesn't matter if your kid's reading it or if you get and give it to somebody as a gift.
Right.
And so, however, you know, with the Plunge Studios Kickstarter page, we're doing the mature comics on that page. With the Rising Sun comics, this comes on the Rising Sun as an all ages comic book. So if you're reading that, you know that there's nothing out, you know, untoward to, you know, something like, you know, like you said, sexualized or anything like that. This is just a good, wholesome book to read, you know, about a young superhero girl, right, and her connections to things, and from New Zealand, and you get to see a bit of New Zealand, you get to hear, you know, how we run things, but also, you know, just having a grounded, I guess, you know, book that you can give to anybody to read, you know. And that's what I wanted, because it was written for my little niece when she was 7 years old, so it was, you know, it was like a gift to her for giving her own superhero. And so I thought, well, you know, it'll be great to write something that's just totally wholesome and clean. And then go over and do something that's, you know, a bit more mature for other mature readers. You know, we've got a book coming out, Robot Nation, next month or so on Kickstarter, which is a self-contained 44 pages, you know, horror, you know, sci-fi book. And that's like, I wouldn't give that to a kid to read.
Right.
Know? It's 15 plus, I would say, like, but like later on it becomes a bit more 16, 18, because, you know, but this is, you know, Incredible is definitely for all ages. And this is one of the earlier, you know, one of the B covers that we did, one of my friends did for it. And so, you know, we changed the artwork from the cover and stuff. You can see it's like a blue. Now it's like, you know, blue as well, but you know, it's blue, white, and red. So the covers, you know, the artwork for this is a webcomic one. But the one you got, like, I mean, can you open up the inside of it so we can show people?
So I got the other one that has the cover on it still.
Is that the full foil?
Yeah, I believe so.
Look at that. Oh, that's the black one. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh,
it is the full foil.
Yeah, it is foil. It's foil. But just so you so you can see it, to take this cover off, it's super simple, and it's scary. When I did the other,
leave it on. You don't have to take the cover off. I mean, you want to protect your comic, right?
I'm going to. I'm going to put it back in the sleeve.
Okay.
It's super simple. It just comes right off.
Yeah. Oh, look at the foil on the back. That's what I love about that one. That's got with the full foil. That's got the logo on the back and foil as well.
Oh yeah. So I'll open it up just a little bit. It's going to open up to the middle of the book.
Yeah.
So look at that.
Yeah, that's the one when we had like we had backers basically who wanted to be in the comic. So you got two people who wanted to be in the comic, and so you had that tier, and so you had one guy who also backed a spoken word tier. And so after we were on Kickstarter, we redrew the comic book after it had already been drawn with those two people in it. And so I hope they loved it. Oh, look at that.
Looks good.
This is the first time I'm seeing it because mine's on the way. But yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
Hugo and Kevin did amazing art. You know, Hugo did the coloring and Hugo Queno and Kevin Zimmerman did the artwork. So yeah.
Those, you know, we had the.
This is the one I've been using a lot. Those two panels on the left side, because I love those three. Because with them in it, like, see, you were talking like the, you know, Nano, Incredigirl, and then also the Captain there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, so just so you see what I was talking about, the general was talking to the captain. Or was it right here on this panel, like right here? You know, you have him saying something to him, and it just doesn't. To me, it doesn't make sense. But it, you know, it's your choice. It's there may be something there. I just didn't know. But that was the only confusing part on once I figured out the flow of how to read it, and then like but I loved it, man. I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was a good book, man. I was very happy. You know, I love all this stuff in the back too. To see all the stuff in the back, I'm not gonna do the last page because I don't want people to be giving away.
We don't want to spoil it for everybody.
All of the other extra stuff in the back.
The Kickstarter people, backers and stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then the just the paint by colors picture here. That's pretty neat, you know. And then all of the other covers that you're able to get right there. Yeah. So yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, did I blank out the cover for the wraparound as well?
What's that now?
Did I blank out the cover like in that one? Did I blank out the cover of the character on the back of the wraparound?
I don't think so. No, I don't know.
Because that's the secret cover. I mean, secret character we don't show. But man, I love that, man. I can't wait to get my copy because just look. Yeah, that has to be one of my favorite covers because of the red and white and black foil on the back is just gorgeous. So you get value for money, right? As well as a collector, I think that's just amazing.
Oh, it's a good.
I mean, for me, when I look at it, I go, if I was collecting that book, I would want that.
Oh yeah, you know? And so there's both of my books from Kickstarter.
Yeah, so that's the two versions that you got: the foil, variant foil, spot foil, and variant full cover, full foil, wraparound foil.
So I guess I got the black and white and the poster, and then the 4 cards as well. So yeah, the poster is really cool. That's going to go up in the shop.
James, man, James is one of my, James is my go-to guy for cover art. He's done so many cover arts for us, and he's got his own comic book that he's working on, which is mature, which I would say like this R17, R18 book, which comes under Plunge Studios book, right? So that goes under this. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about here, this is the page. This is a link to the mature comic book site that we're putting out for Kickstarter. This is the Plunge NZ page on Kickstarter. That's where you get all the mature comics. This one comes under the Rising Sun page, which is run by Hulk Sanders, who's the CEO for Rising Sun. So we try to keep it divide between all ages and mature. And so this one's I love that, man. I thought he was going to the printing was going to be just a flimsy little poster, but he went next level up and we printed out this cardstock.
Yeah, it's a card. It's a little bit more than just card paper. I mean, it's thick. It's about as thick as the playing cards.
Right.
So, yeah, they're really nice. And the art to me, James Hill, is that correct? That's
James Hill. He's amazing, man.
James Hill and Hugo Queno. Yeah.
And then I also did the flats on it, so I could make sure that I had the colors the way I wanted it, and then I had Hugo go and finish it off. And he's an amazing artist.
This reminds me of Mike Diodato artwork from the early 2000s when he was doing a lot of the Marvel stuff back in the day. This reminds me of that. And the way she looks like a young what's her name? Nicole Kidman.
Right.
She looks like a young Nicole Kidman in there if you look at it.
Yeah.
That head, I mean, just she has her face. So there's some light. I can see that there's a story there, inside this artwork. You know what I mean? So that's
I mean, it's that final costume. Like it's taken me about since 2007 is when I wrote it. Right when I started writing, Christmas 2007, and then 2010 I think was when I got an artist to start working on it, and then in 2019 or 18 is when I came back to it and we started work on the web comic, and then around about 2022 21 is when I went 22 I put the web comic out, right, which is this one here, and based on that 2019 2010 art and stuff, and I was like, we printed it out with the B cover that we put out for B cover for this one, because I love his work and Seven's work, and I was like, no, I'm not happy. I don't think this will it's I did it, but I'm not happy to have this on a shelf and be able to compete with anybody else. And I was like, if I want to have my comic, if I want to have people at least have enough, enough say, oh, this is value to me as a comic book, like we were talking about earlier on, is it value to me to pick up? And I was thinking, no, it's not, because then I said, I was like, I got some critique back, and I went back and rewrote the entire thing from scratch, rewrite it, got another artist, redid the artwork, got a colorist, colored the whole entire thing, and which basically meant a whole new cost to everything, a whole new time, a lot of time spent redoing everything, getting other and getting friends to do covers for it. James Hill, as you saw the poster there, it's taking what people are saying and redoing it and making it more competitive to people to back it. And I think people, like you said, it's not A level, but it is B plus, because it's my first comic out in full color and rewritten for mass market, right, production, so that I can feel comfortable to have it right next to any comic on a bookshelf, right, and people can go past it. What is this? And look inside and go, oh wow, this is pretty cool color, artwork, colors great. What is the story about? And you feel like compelled to pick it up, because I've been through past things where, this is not the same as a cover on the front, right? So the A cover has got the same art that is inside, and and I think that's what's like. I think I want comics to be as valuable as they used to be to me, and that's why I went back and redid the entire thing. So you don't get black and white art that's like just all over the place, because this was done for web comics, so you could read a page a week. But this is it's valuable.
Well, let's look at an old comic book real quick, right? So your artwork, the artwork that's on here, man, there's a story going on here. There's something going on. We know that she's in London for something, right? And she ain't gonna put up with anything, and she's ready to rock and roll, right? So that tells a story in that just little page, and that's very important. And this one as well tells a huge story without saying a lot,
right?
And that is so important. If you see them on the shelf, I can see both of these. So I'm trying to get them.
Let me just pop it. Oh yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. I can see these living right next to each other. So I think you did a great job. All your guys that put the hard work in there did a great job. Did a fantastic job. So very, 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 very excited for you guys. Really am. And so I mean, it gives that old school feel that we've been missing. So very proud of you. Good for you, man.
Thank you.
Very good.
All right, let's get to our topic of the day, which is Playmobil, and then after that we'll do a bit of an unboxing. So one of the things that that's come up recently, I mean, the reason I decided to do a topic on Playmobil was because of so a friend of mine, right, who I do who slowly this week has started to become part of a team to help me co-host my Monday Don't Hate Mondays, which is a trailer movie talk, discussion show. So live stream. And so we're talking about this thing up here that I got a while back from, and I don't know much about Playmobiles. It's not something that is I'm aware of, and I had this sitting on the box, on the containers there, and he said, "Oh, did you know that there's Knightrider stuff and there's Asterix and stuff?" I said, "No, I love Knightrider. It's one of my favorite. I'm an '80s kid, so Knightrider, A-Team, Magnum PI, a bit more when I got a bit older, but especially Asterix has been one of my deep, early loves in comic books, And so we've actually done a cartoon series comic strip called PJ and Sheeby, which is kind of my love for the comic strip type of storytelling for for folks. But this thing, he said, well, there's also Knightrider, right? So do you know much about Playmobil?
So Playmobil used to, well, it still is meant for very young kids, little, toddler to like 5 or 6 years old. But here lately, they've started getting into the collector or the nostalgia type of stuff, because they have the Knightrider, and they also have a Back to the Future set, and I think they even have a Ghostbusters set as well. So it's pretty neat that they, I've liked them. I'm liking them. They're looking pretty cool, and people absolutely love them. I've seen a few reviews on them, and there's a lot of good play value in them. If you look at the car, the car that you just had up, the top comes off where you can put the figures in very easily, and everything has a really good play value to it, and it has a build value too. So kind of like Legos. So it's kind of a hybrid between action figures and Lego to me. I think
look at the way it's been packaged.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Look at that. So this is like I got this week for $3. It was in the wrong section. It was in the puzzle section, right? Oops, am I holding it up right up? This one. And so I was, that's why I decided, well, might as well do a Playmobil thing. But this is $3.
No, nice.
It's an old model. But yeah, look at the car, man. I would love to have this. You know?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a little build factor to it for the person that's got it, and I mean, this is, I'd have loved to have this as a kid,
Oh, definitely, man. Like seriously, I'm always already thinking about saving up to buy one because like I'm a huge Knightrider fan, and I had the jacket. Mom bought me the black jacket and everything, and I actually thought like if I went, because when this came out, I watched like season 1 or something, and then like in the middle of that, I got sent to boarding school. And I was crying because I was like, I'll never see this because they won't let me watch TV in that freaking boarding school. Turned out we got to watch TV till about 9:30 at night, So we got to see A-Team, got to see Knightrider. So I was okay. But I was like, I was distraught that I would never see Knightrider again. And, and then Mom arrives, a couple weeks later for my birthday, brings me a black jacket. It's like, now I got a jacket. It looks like Knightrider's jacket. And I was like, it was so cool.
It is cool. I mean, oh yeah, it looks like the Oh, they got
The
all the computer
packaging, man,
stuff.
like they're really taking care of the packaging in this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, do you see? Like, I haven't bought a brand new box of. The last one I bought it was for well, my nephew's birthday, who's over in Aussie, and he was over, and we gave him that for his birthday. But like, I haven't opened a new box of Lego for ages. So, is this how does this look at anything like a Lego packaging?
No. Lego packaging now, they put all the Legos in individual baggies. So
Right, but like,
you have your instructions for bag 1 and 2, 3, all the way up, and that's how they do them.
right.
So it's a little similar, but it's there's a little differences. There's obviously some differences, but this looks great, and I'm kind of wanting to see how much that is, you know.
Well, for New Zealand, I think the price it was around about 130, so probably about 50 odd US if you remove all the taxes, you know.
Yeah.
Or might even be less. I'm not sure, but let me pause this one and I'll show us the Playmobil page, right? So this is the United Kingdom one, so I'm not sure if it'll show us this is the Great Britain. So Knightrider, oops, spell it right. Should have come up straight. No, it's coming up Knight. Still not spelling right. Terrible fingers. Now, it should be one word, right? Knightrider?
No, it's 2 words, I think.
Ah, that's my fault then. There we go. Kit, 69 euro, right? I mean pounds. So around about say 40, I would say.
That's not bad.
So let me get to my currency converter. So that was 70, wasn't it? 70 euro. Yeah, approximately euro. Turn that around. Get me to 79.99 or 69.99, I should say. Change it to euros, pounds. No, I keep saying euros. It's pounds. So convert. It comes to $87.65 US. So it's a bit more.
Oh wow!
Because euros a bit. It's like almost like 3 times when we do it to New Zealand. So I think. Yeah, about 120, 130 New Zealand. So I'll show you the site where I saw it, where I was looking for New Zealand. So Playmobil. And the other thing is that this isn't the only thing they're doing, right? They're doing Magnum PI. They're doing.
They've got a Ghostbuster set. They got a Back to the Future set. They got Kit. I
didn't realize they had a Back to the Future.
Yeah, they got a Back to the Future set, and they got. I wouldn't be surprised if they got the A-Team. I would think they would have A-Team and then Magnum PI. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, the Magnum PI is there. We're gonna have a look at the bit of that. So this is a New Zealand price for it, which is around about $200, give or take, right? So I think there might be another one here. Let me just grab back. So that's $200 plus, but yeah, it's around $200. But it's just this is high quality, by the way, right? It's not like something cheap or anything. And you got the stickers, you even got a desk and stuff, camera, it comes apart. And there's light as well, and I think there's voiced as well. Look at that. So for 200, 200, and the lights come up as well as that, So it's not something, it's not a solid piece. And I think for New Zealand dollars, $200 isn't that bad. This is better quality than a $250 friggin' this, right? The other day we were talking about like how I bought this thing. This had this wasn't the same value, right? This is nowhere near the same value as this, right?
Yeah.
And so value-wise, this I felt was a total ripoff, right? Compared to what we get from that. Because this was just a hollow shell. You hit like even with the little fun things, and it's there like, there was no interchangeable about the thickness of the foam to fit my head. So if you got a small head and you're a kid, that ain't going to fit you at all. And it's like shaking around my head. It's no solid piece. It's like,
all right. Yeah. So the toyetic of it, the playability of it is great because, it is what it is. The Playmobil has been making those little figures for 50, 60 years. I mean, that's kind of how they look, and they've stuck with that aesthetic, and they wrapped a pop culture property around it, and it's superb. It's great. There's a lot of people that love these things. Oh yeah.
Oh, and let me just I think this is where the voices come in.
And so I'm just looking at the hubcap and the wheels and the rims and so forth. I'm like, I can probably tweak a little bit of this. Most definitely the actual hubcaps. Looking at the vehicle again, I really want to give this a paint job. Just looking at it right here and so forth, especially with the actual back wheel compartment where you can see that.
So this is the thing, right? So as an adult, you're thinking, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this to it. But as a kid, you're going, oh, I don't want to do anything. This is great. And this is the difference between a child and an adult collector. It's like you're like, yeah, I don't mind ruining a $200 friggin' thing to make it look better. And a kid's going, this is so cool, man. I'm just so glad I got it. I mean, I would be so in love if my parents had got this, if it was available at that time, right? For me, I'd be like, I will obey everything you say, mom and dad. I would clean it, I'll clean my room, I'll do the dishes, I'll do the lawn, whatever you want me to do if I get this, when I was that age.
Interior cabinets, beige color bleeds right through. So did a little bit of experimentation, but I do want to hear the voice. I do want
this is what I was saying, yeah.
Make sure it does work. And it's fantastic. I mean, that is definitely Mr. C. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
200, like New Zealand, $200, great value, I would say.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
It's crazy. Once I learned that it was Mr. Feeney, you cannot unsee him. It's his voice.
Michael, what shall I do while you're gone?
I gotta say the touch sensor technology is pretty cool. The fact that you can just touch his
touch sensor,
hood and it goes activate the actual phrases. And it comes with 4 phrases.
It's like the most recognizable 80s sound.
Very, very cool. I love that pulsating sound. Now let's get back to the vehicle here. Now this right here, I did do a little bit of drilling here, right? You can see where I wanted to kind of break open the part. There you go, right there.
So we'll leave it there. This is the link to Denobi's channel is there in the link. I'll just put it up there in the chat. Do check it out, and also other stuff from him. I found that very it was really cool to to be able to see something from my childhood to this quality that I never thought that would be available.
Yeah. When I was 8, my older brother got me the big Knightrider, the big kit one that they had. It was it was probably about that big. It was about a foot long. It would fit. It had a Michael Knight figure in it, and he was probably a 6-inch figure. and you would fit in it. I mean, it was huge. And I took it to school, man. And we took it out on the playground and just ran it all over the place. You know, I probably ruined the car after a while. I mean, after having it for 5 minutes, you know, but it was a fun thing. I think it's that one right there on the left, far left. The one with the red cars. Yep.
So it's not this one here.
Yep, I had that one as a kid. That was a 1983 or 1984 when it came out.
Right. I didn't have any Knightrider toys when I was a kid, right? I hardly had many toys when I was a kid. But I did recently buy some. Yeah. I bought some, you know, this one here. You know, sort of like, because I started collecting a bit more Hot Wheels, like older versions and stuff. And then, you know, this week I picked up gosh, I think somewhere here. Oh, here it is. I picked up this.
Oh, the Rick and Morty time machine.
Yeah, because I saw it as like it was a choice between a Batmobile, right, or a Rick and Morty, and I was like, I think I gotta have I gotta have this because it's such a, you know, such a cool looking, you know. I gotta have that because I don't have anything for Rick and Morty. I have clothes and stuff and hats, but I don't have a toy from it. So I was like, yeah, this would be great. But I came across this while doing the whole Knightrider thing, but I wish I had this. The Knightrider car actually came to New Zealand back in the 80s, and I got to sit in it. And my dad got a photo.
I got to sit in one as well back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good time. The 80s were the best. 80s was the best time. Sorry. You know.
It was.
Just the amount of stuff that you were able to get and do and play with. I mean, it's astounding. I mean, I find out about a new toy that existed in the 80s about once a month. You know, that I never knew existed. You know, like, oh, I don't remember that. You know, and but the Knightriders are pretty cool. I mean, it was a good show. It was a good show for kids and parents, you know, to watch together. It was, you know, those times are gone now, you know, somewhat. So it's
it was a really wholesome time. You could like watch it on your own, or you could watch it with my parents. Like A-Team, I think I remember watching it with the parents. Knightrider, I think it was me and my sister, and but you know, it was a great time to watch Knightrider. I mean, like shows like Knightrider, Automan was great, way ahead of its time.
Yeah, that's the one I had. That big one right there with Night 2000. I had that one.
Yeah.
This is neat. That's Smokey and the Bandit Part 3. That's not the Knightrider.
The red one.
No, the one in the middle right here. The one right in the middle. Yeah, it looks like
this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks out of space. Yeah, you wouldn't have gold on his one.
Yeah, looks like he just had a bunch of Trans Ams, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so the other one they've got is Magnum PI.
Okay.
So they've got for older, kind of like the 15-year-olds, because Magnum PI, even though it's kind of like, you know, PG, it's not really, you know, kind of the set. This is from, this came out last week.
Stoked about it. Comes courtesy of my friends over at PLAYMOBIL.
All right, so you get the Magnum PI Playmobil.
That theme song, that theme music just goes through my head every time I see this.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it was like, because like it's been for ages since I've seen Magnum PI. But I mean, you know, everybody's talking about diversity. Look, we had freaking diversity in the 80s, man. Right?
We did.
Look, it's right there. Right there. And everybody was watching it and happy. Nobody said, "Oh, look, it's a black dude on there." No, that's TC, right? You know, it was TC, right? I'm just like trying to. My memory's not the greatest, you know. And so, yeah, it was just, you know, you had just amazing stuff, and people just don't understand what it was like and why we upset now with everybody forcing these things when we already had it for free, you know, when we already accepted of all these things.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just going to go through this quickly so you can see, you know, look at all the detail like with this, right? You got a walkie-talkie, you got binoculars with TC, you got the parrot, you know.
Mm-hmm. What was his other buddy's name? The other guy.
And of course,
Yeah,
it's the boss man, right? Who sets it all
Higgins.
up, whose house he lives in, and he's a rich man.
Yep.
Higgins, that's
Robert.
it, yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's pretty.
play it. It's all like I said. It's all made for the younger kids, right? That 10-year-old and like 5 and 10-year-old age. So it's like a bit more bulky. It's not as finite, you know. It's like you know, little pieces like basically, you know, with like Lego and stuff. They're not like, you know, because the thing is, they're not really made like Lego isn't really made for younger kids in that sort of age group, like 3 or 4. So Playmobil sort of fills that gap in quite well. Because like if you really think, so this is, you know, this is the one that I got by, you know, by chance, is that let me pop out of there, you know, and it's, you got figures like this, you know.
Yeah. So I think Playmobil is playing both fields of the younger kids and the older collectors, because that Magnum PI and that kit, those cars look legit. Those cars look really good. And you know, as an adult, I'm not buying the kit car for Michael Knight. I'm buying the car for Kit. I'm not buying the Magnum PI Ferrari for Magnum PI. I'm buying it for the car. You know, so they put a lot of effort into the car, into the machines, and they still put a lot of effort into everything. But they made those are the action figures they put out, and that's what you're gonna get. So, you know, it can be bought for both adults and children. You know, on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you could like, I mean, I don't think parents like if you're buying as a collector. I mean, if you're buying it for yourself as an adult, you're not going to go, oh, now you can go and play with the figures here while I play with, you know, the car, because that just won't happen. But like, I like you said, like it's done in such a way that they are going for the older market as well as the little, you know, younger ones, and I think that's a good thing. Because it's kind of the same thing when the techniques thing, you know, with the adults, with the cars, Technique cars and stuff like that, with motorized RCs for Lego, you know, that sort of is the older market. Whereas you can do the, you know, like the castles, the city, or the whole girl range, female, you know, girl range with the color tones and differences. Now, because my birthday was last week, right?
Okay.
My friend, yeah, Seven's dropped over with a whole bunch of toys for me, right? I was not expecting it, which is what shocked me. Like, I'm like, because he had put up a post like that these were going for like a couple bucks, you know, about $5-6 or something, at another outfit, right, where he had in his childhood town where he'd grown up. And I said, oh, why don't you pick it up? I would have given you money for it and stuff because it's so cheap. Because my sister and my brother-in-law got me that for my birthday last year, a couple of them. And so he came over, you know, for my birthday and goes, hey, I just, you know, I'm going to come over and are you home? And we're going to drop this off in a couple of hours. Is that okay? I go, yeah, okay. So he pops over. So I get all these like friggin', you know, Khan, man, Khan.
Give me 1 second. I got to check something out. I heard something. I got to check something out. Sorry.
Yeah. So this is, I'll put us on solo while our friend is away. So I didn't have this. So I was like really excited that I got Khan and Nunyan Singh. You know, it's, I mean, he has my surname, right? So what, you know, but then I've got data because I do have a lot of Star Trek toys of my own, figures and stuff and ships, and I haven't displayed them yet. This is all the different from DS9. The ones from Enterprise are in here, you know, like this. It's got Bakula and stuff like that. This one here has got this whole thing here is all you know, all Star Trek stuff that just is. I haven't had time to really display it well. You know, this is one of the recent releases. I got this. I think I might have bought this for myself as a birthday present for my 50th. So this week, you know, on the 1st of May, I turned 51. So this is all the collections of Star Trek that I've got there. A couple of years ago, a friend of mine actually got me it's way up there, the telephone for original Star Trek, you know, TV show phone thing. So it's quite large. But with, you know, with 7 dropping by, you know, I got a double up of this, and we realized that Spock, that his one had the same problem that my copy of Spock had, right? Which was that they didn't have the same amount of glue around for every single Spock thing. So this is a factory defect on the glue. So even this is, I think this one's my one. Yeah. So this is my one. Or was it his one? Oh no, this is his one. But my one's in the cupboard. Same deal, right? It just pops off after a bit of a whack around. Pops off. However, these ones solid. So you can tell like the glue's there, and with that one isn't. So I got 2 Spocks now. I got you know, I got Data from, and this was released around about last year with the whole universe, Star Trek universe set. The sad thing about this, and this is all down to what's happened with Discovery and with the new Star Trek, is that every time they put a lower quality of product out, it turns fans away. And now let me get out of here. So bring.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, when they you know, when the story on the TV is kind of dismissive of the product itself, which I find that Discovery and the new what was it called, the new Brave New Worlds is
Brave New World. Yeah.
Yeah, when they sort of diminish the quality of what the before story and the world building was going, people stop buying it. You notice this about Disney right now. And so when quality stuff like this, when people stop buying that, you know that the franchise is damaged, right? And so that's happened a lot with Disney. And so this is the other one I got, you know, Captain Picard. I do love, I like, seriously, I am a Trekkie from the original, you know, 80, 81, 82, you know, because we didn't have TV, right? I mean, like in Fiji, we didn't have TV. So when TV shows, like weekly shows. So I didn't get into that sort of stuff until I came to New Zealand when I was about 8 years old.
Oh, wow.
So that's when Star Trek and all that began for me, and that's where my love is. I've got posters, I've got T-shirts, I've got, you know, hats and everything, because it's, you know, it's deep love for that franchise. But even I, with all that, am not happy about what's happened in the recent Paramount production. You know?
No, it's not good. They've kind of crap on the original series, you know, and don't acknowledge what they brought to it. They don't they don't care about William Shatner very much. They don't. Did you see that promotion of? There's a picture of all the Star Trek, of all the Star Trek, and they put Captain Kirk in there. They didn't put William Shatner image it there. And it's like, seriously, you know that regardless of what you think of the show, it wouldn't have gone anywhere without William Shatner. It would not have gone anywhere without William Shatner. Yeah. And it's sad that they don't give him the respect that he's due, in my opinion.
Well, but he carried that show for decades, right? I mean, like up till the 80s, until they did it. Was it like 90s when they did like New Generation and stuff like that? Because it was everything was around him, and you know, it's set to like
1987
even,
is when the Next Generation came out. 97. I'm not 1987. 87 is when the Next Generation came out.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's what 20 years later almost.
yeah. It's 20 years. It is 20 years later from when the first Star Trek started. Man, that's cool.
So yeah, I mean, it's you if you take something that's universally loved and then you make it into political was a softball or baseball thing, right?
Yeah.
People aren't going to be, you know, it's not going to become universal anymore. You don't do that with products that's beloved, like something like Star Trek or Star Wars, because I don't look at Star Wars and go, oh, look, there's an Indian guy on there, so I'm gonna like watch that because it represents me. No, I watch it because he's in there, because he represents what you know, what it means to be a brave person in the world, what it means to have courage, what it means to be a leader, what it means to be, you know, to make decisions at, you know, split decisions. Not only that, how to listen to other people around you, how to take on board what people advice are telling you in your team. And that's all what, for me, Star Trek was. It was about the great adventure, the great characters that are there. McCoy comes up and goes, hey, listen, this is happening here. I need you to come with me and let's have a look at it. He doesn't go, no, get lost, McCoy. It's all about me. I'm the captain. No, he looks at that. And these are things why I say it's universal, right? Why we look at it and we go, oh, that's a great character. I would love to grow up to be that, like that person, not be a bully, not be an arrogant person, be someone who can listen to people, how I can take, have courage myself to make decisions when they're hard, not make easy decisions. And I think that's what is universal about these shows. Why some kid from Fiji in New Zealand would feel like this is a great show to watch, you know. And
in what I found in the original message of Star Trek when they first came out, there were obvious allegories about the civil rights movement that were happening, women's rights and things like that. You know, that was great and that's expected, and they were great episodes. They were fantastic episodes. I mean, we had a Black woman on the bridge of the Enterprise. She was an officer. We had an Asian person driving the ship, and we had a Russian that we were at war with in the United States. We were in the middle of a Cold War. To have a Russian on Chekhov in the middle, you know, is unheard of. And then we have the one, you know, the alien, you know. And one of the things that I really liked about I love Gene Roddenberry for doing what he did, you know. But he did become a little arrogant as well in his later days too. I mean, he had some problems, and you know. But the one thing he did, the one thing he was very adamant about is that humanity is something special. Right. There's something special about humanity. We can all put our differences aside for a greater good. We can all work together, and we can all have our differences at the same time, and we can still make things work. And I think that was a beautiful message that was you know, told in those series. I want to say there was an interview or I heard about somebody asked him, what do you think about aliens building the Egyptian pyramids? And he was like, no, that's human ingenuity. Those are human beings that did that. Don't take away the beauty and the talent that humans can achieve. And that was one of the main, that's what I took away from Star Trek. The overarching thing is we can achieve a lot as if we put our differences aside and we just focus on the work or focus on being better, you know, and stop talking about it. We don't, you know, they didn't talk about it in there, you know. He didn't say, Ahura, you know, you're such a strong black woman. I'm glad you're here on the ship. No, he just said, Ahura, do your job. You know, Chekhov, drive the ship. You know, Scotty, fix
That's your job, dude. Just do your job well.
Do your job well. These were the best people for the job, and that was awesome. You know, so I love Star Trek. My favorite series is the original series. Absolutely love it. I do like the Next Generation.
Yeah,
I do like the Picard series that came out, you know, last year and the year before. I do.
Yeah, the third season, like Picard, really lived up to what
what it needed to be.
What it needed to bring it back. But then they continue with like Brave New World to shove it. Like at first, I was like, this looks interesting. 3 episodes in, I was like, yeah, this is nothing like they're just going on the political stance to like diminish what came before, create their own stuff. And I don't mind people creating their own stuff, but there is a tone that you got to follow, that what everybody loves about the original, which is what you just said, right? It's a universal. It's putting all the political aside and working together for the good of all.
Well, it's like there's rules, right? They've established rules for that universe. Why are we breaking those rules? It doesn't make sense, you know.
Well, because everybody wants ideology and and
make your own Star Trek.
On their own thing. That's it. Like,
you know, hey, you made IncrediGirl, right? You do it. You're a talented writer and you're a talented director, talented producer. Make your own stuff, but don't break the rules of what was established with Star Trek or with a continued an existing property. Don't break the rules. Just
well, the reason they do that, right, is because they know if they create their own thing, it'll take a while to catch on. But because they don't want to invest in it while to take on, they want that instant following for their product, and so they'll just stick another name on it. And we see this a lot with product that's come out. It's like, okay, it was like that whole thing with Scooby-Doo last year. Now they got a season 2, and I can't even stomach these, that whole thing. Yeah, and so it was like you could have created that as a whole new thing on your own thing. You don't have to stick Scooby-Doo as the thing of it. And I think that's the reason. The reason I say that, like, they had to do that was because when they went to the, we have an idea for this animation. Oh, yeah, we can't sell that. Well, okay, I know how to sell it. Let's put in Scooby-Doo.
Let's make it Scooby-Doo. Yeah. It's ridiculous because and that's proof. To me, that's proof that they're pushing wokeness regardless of what their the success of the product. Because that show got super bad ratings. That show did not do well. Yeah. If it didn't do well, why are we making another season of it? Nobody liked it.
Because you got to have it. Otherwise, you'd be like diminishing the whole Indian person creating an animation, female. You can't show the world that it sucked. So you got to put the money behind to make it work. Otherwise, you're a racist.
Let's make her. Can we pull up the South Park thing? Let's make her a gay female and lame.
Yeah. So I had this very, very particular like finds this week, right? A comic book, right? I mean, sorry, toy finds. Okay. So as you know, I go out every week and do my rounds once a week. And check out some of the stuff I found, man. And I know you've got to take off soon, so I'm going to finish off with this. These things I didn't even know existed. This is a Generation 1, right? Transformer. And these are like some sort of like attachments like that they put out. And I thought it was like they actually sold these as singles. I didn't realize that. But these attached to like heads and stuff like that, for other parts. So it's a weird little thing. Oh, and I finally got myself a Conan figure.
Oh, nice. That's from the Conan the Adventure series.
Yeah.
Yep, the cartoon. Yeah, that's great.
Look.
Oh, Oh, that's
and
cool.
and this is a huge figure. Like it was like maybe what is it, like 8 inches or something like that? Yeah, about 8 inches. And I've been wanting a Conan because Conan's another one of my it's my 90 like late 80s love. Like I've been a huge fan of Conan ever since, like watching, Barbarian, Destroyer, or just, and so I've been wanting to get a figure recently, and now I don't have to, because I've got one now, from that. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, and because I can't, see the little text there. So I said to Jason, hey, Jason, can you read that? Find out what's, and he goes, oh, such and such and such Conan. I said, oh, straight in the bag.
There you go.
So that was it. But look what else I found, dude.
Oh, I am so jealous of you. I know what that is. That's a G.I. Joe submarine from 1992, I want to say. I'll
Yep.
tell you exactly where it's from. See, I got a G.I. Joe Bible.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Let me see what that is real quick.
So it comes with a shooter. It's missing some pieces. So there's attachments there in the front that's supposed to have, and you'll probably be able to show us exactly what it is, right?
Yep.
So
yep. It is called the G.I. Joe Barracuda. And if you want to put me on full screen, I'll show you
let
what
me
it's
put
at.
you on full so people can see that.
Right there.
Yeah. So
it's got the.
So that's the pieces that are missing. So there's stickers. I mean, like this is just a random find in a box. So it's not like it had everything in it. It's just 50-cent sort of finds. And I was like, oh, that looks like a pretty cool ship. So I'll just buy that and get home. It's like, do a Google Lens find, and next thing you know, it's a friggin' Barracuda.
G.I. Joe
Right?
Barracuda. That is a fantastic find, man. Can you blow it up? Can you blow yourself up so I can see it better?
It's broken now.
Now it's broken.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing about these toys from back then, right? They're so well made.
Oh yeah, that's cool, man. That is cool. I think you can put a figure in it too.
Yeah, it's somewhere it's supposed to like open up, isn't it? Like I'm not somewhere it's supposed to do something. But so you got shooters at the front, shooters at the back. This is like spring loaded, so you're supposed to like pop this out.
Yep.
And it will shoot out. So you can see there's like the springs in there.
What you do is you put the missile in there and it'll click in, and then you press that button and it'll release it and it'll shoot out.
I'd like to see what the missile looks like, because then I've got a whole bunch of them because of my collection and stuff.
Right.
There's something somewhere in the cupboards in the containers that has the missiles in there, right? So that's one. And so last week I found a Toxic Avenger set that was missing parts, and because my friend Seven, right, out of Evans on Instagram and on Facebook, so he's a huge Trauma fan. So if you don't know anything about Trauma, Troma, Trauma Films, is a whole kind of like a low budget horror studio company that Jason Gunn got his start in making films in, right? So I found this and I said, oh, I need motorbikes for my figures, right? So I just picked that up, and next thing you know, I found this, and this is this week, and I found this, and next thing I know, oh, that looks like what I found last week. And so found out that like got it home, or they go together. So what I found last week, I've got a little short video of it. So let me just bring that up so I can show you guys what I found last week and why this kind of like matters to what, and since Seven is a huge fan, so I just basically gave that to him and I said, hey man, this is for you. Because for us, I know what he's into and he knows what I'm into. So there's no reason for me to, keep what I want and, and what he likes, and so I said to him, like, this is for you, right? When you get over, I'm going to give you this. He goes, are you sure? Goes, dude, you love horror, right? That's all that for me. I have so much stuff I love, right? Sci-fi, fantasy, and everything else that comes along with comic books, right? So I found this and
films Toxic Avenger
2 weeks ago.
I bought yesterday, secondhand, kind of like on a find, as I used to do once a week. And it's from 1991, and it's part of the Trauma Films character from the mid 80s, early 80s. I love this film when it came out. I've seen it a couple of times. They were going to do a remake recently. I haven't seen it. I have a friend who is like, you can check out his Instagram and on Facebook. It's called Art of Evans, one word, at Art of Evans. And he just loves indie horror, especially trauma.
So that's that. So I won't carry on with that,
cool.
repeating myself. So those two pieces came together. So I've stuck the I try to figure out how to put it together. So I got some wood, like skewers, like skewer things for like steak.
Yeah.
I mean barbecue. Didn't work. So I had some plastic straws. So I sliced it and like got that together. That's how that was able to stay together. Then this week, right, on the search, I found another one in the box, because those two were actually in a plastic bag, and that was like $8 or something. And then we're talking about it, and I said, "This is yours. You take that." And then this Thursday, I go out and I find this, and I'm like, "That's the other side of it, right?" So you got the big middle part, and you got one side, and this is the left side. Yeah, left side of it, because I had the right side. So check that out. So these are actually, these are collector items, because they're not really, once they're done, these are 30-year-old toys. The most recent Toxic Avenger toys are coming out. They're like $75 a piece, and they're right about this tall.
Yeah.
Right? They're right. What is it, like about 6 inches or something?
About three
And
and a half, somewhere along there.
yeah, and they're like $70. And I'm like, and you're looking at those like, and I'm thinking he's thinking like, now that he's seen the prizes, he's going to give them. I'm like, dude, they're yours, man. So the other thing, but I'm kind of playing a joke on him at the moment, because I know he loves trauma, right? And there's no reason for me not to give that to him. You give this to him, but like I said to him, yeah, you're just going to keep this. I'm going to give this to you for that, but I'm keeping this. But tomorrow he's going to come up, and I'm going to, this is yours, man, as well.
Nice.
Because this is his fandom, right? So I get all this other stuff. So why would I, for me, he's a great friend. And I think, I think sometimes as collectors, you kind of spread yourself way too wide. And I think you go, well, I'll have this, this. And sometimes I think, if I think I'll stay away from horror, because I know my friend loves it. So whenever I find something to do with horror, he gets the horror part, no matter what it is. I don't care how much it costs. It's horror, and that's his thing. So I thought this was really cool. These are like collector pieces now, and they're quite expensive, but they don't, that's for him. So he gets 3 more pieces to the 2 that he got last time.
Right.
So one more thing before I let you take over.
Okay.
I found a couple Batman stuff as well. So this is a Batman bike. The sad thing is that the kids who played it, the other wing is gone, but
Right.
At least I can display it this way with Batgirl on it, right? And so got the motorbike. So I have one motorbike, so I'm okay with giving him the trauma motorbike, right, with the skeleton guy. So I have look at that beautiful Batgirl bike. It's so good. So that was like 50 cents or something. Because it's like in a box. But here's the other one. This cost me maybe $2 or something, and it's missing that little bit here, because it's got this little wind up thing. And this is from the movie Batman, the original Batman, like from the 90s, right? So it's well played with kids toy. I've got figures that'll go into here and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but I never had this as a kid. Now, another weird thing I found is this, and I don't know if this is a part of this or what it's supposed to be. Have no idea. I have to find out what it's what's what with this thing at the moment.
Oh wow, that is a well played with Transformer. It looks like.
Yeah. Do you think it's Transformer though?
It looks like it, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So here, look at this. Look at this real quick.
Let me put you on full.
So this came in from a collection the other day. I got one of these.
Is that Bela Lugosi?
Yep.
Ah,
Bela
that is
Lugosi.
so cool.
Yep. It's pretty neat. It's got a little bio on the back of the whole thing. So yeah,
How
it's
much
cool.
are you playing that for?
I got in a person brought in a bunch of toys to trade, and I
Yeah.
got it in a lot. So I didn't pay a lot for it. I think it may have came out to about $2 for me after whatever I spent on the lot. So
Yeah.
you know, I
Well,
have
let me know if I have I think a Hawk is sending some stuff through. So let me know if there's maybe we'll get I'll get some stuff from you depending on what it is, and we'll
yeah. What
we'll
kind
do
of stuff
some
what kind of stuff are you looking for?
Well, I don't know. That's the problem with me, like, because this is what I like about going on the hunts, right? Like, look at this. This is from Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
Power Rangers tank that moves into other stuff, into a phase and all that, and what is it here?
I have a bunch of vintage Power Ranger stuff too.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of it. So it depends on what you're looking for, man. I can send you some stuff. Definitely. I got some Star Trek stuff. Yeah.
I have no idea who this is.
Blow it up a little bit. Can you blow it up?
Sure. Let me pop over to the full.
That looks like that looks like a Todd McFarlane, early Todd McFarlane figure from Spawn.
Right. Oh yes, the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
The villain.
I'm not sure. Does it say? Does it have any information on it?
Oh, let me do the whole blow up with my mobile phone thing so I can see what it is. Where is my phone? That's a question now with all this stuff around me. I think it's in the kitchen, but you might be right. Actually, see if you can see that.
Hold on, stop right there. Made in China. It doesn't. I don't see it. Manufacturer. Hold it.
I'm trying to get rid of that shadow.
Yeah.
1980 9 or something like that. But
Yeah,
but I do think you're right. I think
it might be
a
a Batman figure too. So one of the Batman type of figures or early Marvel stuff. So
yeah. The mask is sort of interesting.
Or is it not gargoyles? Is it? Nah, it can't be gargoyles.
Could be. Yeah, I'll have to do a search for it to figure it out. Yeah, this is a great thing about I love people finding things that people have played with, because you can figure there's so much love or play that people have got into. So this is one I don't know how old this one is, but I think this is from like Mulan or something like that.
That looks like Milan to me.
Yeah, it's a Disney one. So yeah, I just thought I like collecting figures. One of the other things recently is picking up a whole bunch of old Matchbox toys and stuff, and seeing what's around. And guess what I found as well this week?
Nice. Snaggletooth.
Original. If only this was blue. If only it was blue, it'd be like rare.
Right? All right, so you ready? You ready to be jealous?
Yeah, let's go.
You might want to put me on the full screen.
I will.
So I got that. That came in last. And it's a little those came in it.
Right.
And then take that out.
Was it just released as a figure set?
What's that?
Was it just released as a figures collector set, or
No. So the
Oh wow!
the figures were released separately, each separately, and then
Right.
you had to buy the case separately.
Right.
So, yeah, I was able to do some trades for that, and the piece de resistance, so to speak, is they had a mail away figure in '83. The only way you could get the Emperor was mail away figure, and I still have the mail away. I have the mail away figure in the box.
In the actual box, unopened.
Yep. So that came in this week as well. So yeah, we've had some Star Wars stuff coming in. Guy wanted some. The gentleman that was here. He wanted to get collector prices for it, and I said I can't pay you full price for them. I can only offer you. I can offer you trade, or I can offer you a little bit of cash, but not. I can't offer you what you're asking for them. Right. So we did some wheeling and dealing, and he got some vintage G.I. Joe stuff from me that I've had for 10 or 15 years,
right.
and multiples of them. So I'm like, yeah, we can do that. So my total out of pocket was hardly anything, and he still had to. It worked out for me. It worked out for me really well. He actually got me. I had some graded figures as well, and I sold those this morning.
Right.
But it was pretty nice. It was a cool little deal. And the other thing he got with it is this thing right here. It's the original one of the catalogs from Star Wars. So all the stuff that was available for the Empire Strikes Back. So if anybody is unaware, Empire Strikes Back came out in 1980. That was 44 years ago, guys. That's been a long time.
Wow.
So, yeah.
One of the things I saw come across this morning, right? On is that is it supposed to be like a new Luke Skywalker movie is supposed to be coming out?
Man, I really hope so. I would really like to see, Luke Skywalker and stuff. And I don't care if they recast him. I really don't. They can recast the whole crew for me, in my opinion. You just get the right people.
Yeah, I don't know, if they can salvage Star Wars anymore, sadly, because it feels like the damage is done. The hating of the fans, the gaslighting the fans. I just feel like that they've destroyed the love that we had, that Force Awakens brought in, right? And that was just straight away ruined by every other thing that came through afterwards. Because to be honest, when I saw Force Awakens, I had my beard all done up in the white sand, red sand thing that they had, and all that on the poster. I had it all done up. It was quite longer at that time, and so I was quite, I guess in the sense, if you really thought about it, I was a super Star Wars fan because I'm a sci-fi fan. I'll watch a B-grade sci-fi movie any day compared to anything else out there because I love science fiction, because I'm a science fiction writer, as well. And so I felt like they were, it was on the right track, and then suddenly they had no idea what they were doing after the first movie. It was like,
well,
what?
I'll tell you what, those last three movies are many of the Star Wars fans out there disavow those. Even some of the people that were in the movies don't like the movies. Mark Hamill to say one. But here's the thing you got to remember. If they had never made another Star Wars movie ever after Return of the Jedi, would you still be a Star Wars fan? Yeah. I would still be a Star Wars fan. You can always go back to Return of the they're masterpieces. I don't care. They're masterpiece films. They're great films. So they're already there. Nobody can ruin those movies. And also, just point of fact, remember this: a lot of the things that you're saying right now to me about how what they've ruined the franchise was said about the prequels, episode 1, 2, and 3. And now,
but I love the prequels. I had no problem with the prequels at that time. Even before this came out, I was still in love with the prequels. I didn't go and go out way to watch them.
I had a hard time with them. I'll admit I had a hard time with them, and I didn't appreciate them until I started watching the new, the Clone Wars, right? So once I watched the Clone Wars, I kind of appreciated what was going on in the prequels because I was expecting A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
Full on action, this space opera, pirates, and all this stuff. I didn't expect all the political drama that George Lucas was trying to talk about. Yeah. And the cool thing is you got Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, who absolutely love Star Wars, and they're still they're protecting what they have right now, what they're making. And that's good, yes, the second trilogy, the sequel trilogy, it was not good. It was not good at all. And they made some mistakes, but hopefully, no matter how bad it is, no matter how bad they are, you always have the originals, and you can always go back to them.
Yeah. So there was this is the latest news. I'm not sure if it's true, if it's a rumor or whatever, but let's have a look at this quick video. And you guys can watch the words later on.
Last week on the channel, we reported that George Lucas was rumored to be returning to Star Wars in some fashion. Folks, we may have a follow-up on that soon, but for today, we have news that might be even bigger. You clicked on the thumbnail, you clicked on the title, you know what this is about. Folks, we may be getting Luke Skywalker on the big screen real soon. Now, Disney and Lucasfilm have to wonder, will the fans even care? Will you come back?
That's basically where we are.
Hello, folks, and TGIF. What a beautiful day today on the channel. 2 scoops ahoy. Of course, this morning we brought you the major news about the Rise program, and that is our first step in revealing what is going on with the Walt Disney Company and Rise. If you've not seen that video, you are missing out. It is one of the biggest discoveries, one of the biggest exposés we've ever done. And now, well, folks, you clicked on the thumbnail, you clicked on the title, but unlike you, Lauren has no idea what we are about to talk about other than it's Star Wars. So, Lauren, this is going to be a video that I think you'll enjoy, and I've been looking forward to giving you one like this for a very long time. We have had to trudge through some real muck when it comes to Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Star Wars, and all of that. Folks, as we dive into this content, consider clicking the like button, and here we go. Lauren and I have had a source that has been close to the Mandalorian movie project and has been phenomenal in giving us information early. I want to be very careful as we do this video in not doing anything that could get this source in trouble. I also, folks, need to caution you that this video is strictly rumor and speculation, although you need to go check the track record to see if you want to believe what we have to say. But it's rumor and speculation because we are talking about a future project. Anything can change because this is not released yet. It's not even in production yet necessarily. So please consider that whatever we say here, they could decide they're not making the movie tomorrow. I mean, I think that would be extreme, but it is what it is. All right. As we get into this, Lauren, the source that is giving us this information mixes in what they're talking about with their own personal views. I'm going to relay those as best I can without using their own language because we don't want to connect this to their writing or speaking styles. But here's what we've got, Lauren. The Mandalorian movie is coming out, of course, in 2026, and that is a significant delay from when it was originally intended to come out. Jon Favreau is leading this as the director, although it has been handed to Dave Filoni to plus up the script, allegedly, and he is co-writer, and some believe that he will be credited with co-director as well. I'm not so sure about that, but there are some thoughts that he may. All of that said, the source
Don't
says
want
to
see
me
anything.
that this is John Favreau's big
My-
Star Wars movie.
my
Whatever
screen
you
is
might
all
think,
frozen
this
up
is
here.
his chance to go out with a bang, and that John Favreau does not want to be embarrassed by this release. He does not want this to be a stain on his career. And so the source tells me to look back to what Favreau said originally when he came on board with Star Wars, telling Lucasfilm and Disney particularly that he thought that he could help. And he says that you can expect this movie to be returned to the quality of the first two seasons. But most importantly, Lauren, he says that you might even consider this to be a Luke Skywalker movie. The source tells me, Lauren, that the delay from 2025 to 2026 was largely because they did not believe that the level of Luke Skywalker that they want to use would be able to be completed in CGI with realistic appearance and all of that in the time frame that had been given. Favreau apparently realizes the reaction to Luke Skywalker from the second season, and he wants that again for the movie. The source goes to such a degree as to say that we might even expect a scene, although folks remember, this can be cut in the editing room. We don't know. It's the future, but the source says that he has knowledge. I don't know if he does or not. He says he has knowledge that there's even a scene where Luke Skywalker and Grogu, that's Baby Yoda, might join their force powers together in battling some dark enemy. Lauren, this may dramatically use Luke Skywalker more than I had ever thought. I was expecting a cameo. This may be John Favreau saying, I'm going to go with what works. And frankly, I got to tell you, Lauren, if I'm Hasbro and I hear this news, I'm ecstatic because there is nothing that is going to save the Star Wars toy line other than, I think, a cool Luke Skywalker brought back to do cool Luke Skywalker stuff.
That sort of like has really cost Hasbro billions, and because they're they are the partners with Disney, so whatever Disney does, they got to put the friggin' toys out because of licensees. And to be honest, the previous trilogy financially has not been good, and but apart from the ultra diehard fans who actually will go on day one for fear of missing out, right? Well, FOMO, right? Will go and buy it, and like we looked at even like the figures, what they do with Indiana Jones, right? We talked about that recently about the figures. They were very high quality figures of Indiana Jones figures, and they ended up like making like clearance sales. They're like $9, which is like about $5 US for a $40 figure. Like it's just yeah. So I know you you had to leave now. So do you want to close up or do you have anything else to say?
No, I'm pretty much done. I think it was a great show. Super happy about IncrediGirl, excited about that. Very proud of you. Give you a round of applause there.
Okay.
No, I think I'm good. I'm excited about the future, and I love toys. Keep collecting out there, guys. And if you're in the great state of Texas, come out and visit me. 1.21 gigawatts, comics, toys, and nostalgia, and go support the Plunge Comics. Go support this Kickstarter. It's worth it.
Yeah, we've got a new Kickstarter coming out, but before, as our friend Big Stu leaves, and I'm going to play his little theme video. So thank you for we do this every second Sunday New Zealand, Saturday Northern Hemisphere. So if you are a toy collector, if you are interested, let me pop that out of there. If you're interested in being, coming on and showing your collection, or even talking to us about what your interests are as a collector, right? This is for a space for you guys to do that in. And so I'd really love for you to be a part of this channel, this show. So wherever you are, thank you and be welcome to be part of this. Feel welcome. The email is actually in our, in our link tree at the start of this on the chat, but also under our YouTube channel, right? The emails are there. It starts sm.plantstudiosnz@gmail. So you can grab that, send me a link, email and link to yourself, and I'll try to, arrange a schedule to be on our show. So, and you don't even have to be on screen, but you can show your collection and talk about it, right? And so we want to, make this place a, welcome place for people who collect toys, and would love to see you unbox stuff as well, and hear about how you got into it. Now, as Big Stu pops out, in our description, you got his website there as well, his store in Borgia, Texas. So thank you, Stu. And I'm going to finish off with talking about the Kickstarter. But thank you, Stu, for coming on.
You guys have a great night. God bless. See you on the next one.
All right. Thank you.
1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts. That is the name of my store. It's also the amount of electricity needed for time travel. And that's how you're going to feel when you step into my store. You're going to feel like you step back into 1985. My store is all about the comics, toys, and nostalgia. If you have that nostalgia itch that needs to be scratched, come to my store. It's on 601 North Main Street, Borger, Texas. Again, I am 1.21 gigawatts, comics, toys, and nostalgia. The greatest toy and comic shop in a 50-mile radius in the great panhandle of this great state of Texas.
1.21 gigawatts.
All right. So this is our website for our Kickstarter for our mature, comics that we release through our own studio. Now, currently, the project that we're sorting through and about to release is called Robot Nation. It is not very mature in the sense of nudity or anything like that, but that's not what this is about. This is about a sci-fi, futuristic robot, kind of themed anthology series. So please, I'll give you the link here in the chat so you guys can follow us there. So if you're, it's a bit more mature content that we're putting out. The reason, like, I guess if you were really thinking about it as what is the comic about, it's kind of like Terminator meets alien type storytelling, space and Earth and stuff. So it's the digital. This is going to be a full color print release with all the what I would like to say, the bells and whistles, trading cards, posters, pinups, sketch cover kind of thing, chrome cover. There's a special friend of ours, Art Victim, is doing a triptych kind of wraparound kind of piece that we're going to turn into like short pinups, as well as a chrome covering just for his one. Now we also are going to do in 3 different languages. So it's going to be Portuguese, of course, English, Portuguese, and Spanish are the 3 languages that we're going to be translating this into. And each one will have each different cover. So if you wanted a Portuguese cover, you'd only get that cover in Portuguese. And then when we do it in English, it'll be a different cover for that. Now, and so we want to make it as accessible to people as possible. And so part of this has been that we are going to release it, release a special comic store version. All right, not version, but like a comic store package, which is going to be where we give you, 5 copies of cover A, which is the initial cover, which is this one here. And then you also get a special, what I call a pink lingerie cover, white cover, which is, for artists who like to draw their own character within that. And also, we're going to give away a free version of this one here. This is the bloody version. We're going to give you a free version because of your support comic store, because we want to support stores, right? Because I used to have my own comic store, so I know what it's like to run a comic store and needing support and how to help the indie creators, right? And this is the reason for this is going to be a special. And by the way, these prizes, this isn't finalized yet, right? So when you see it in New Zealand prizes, it's way different in American prizes. So the other thing is that as a comic store owner, I learned what it takes to be supported from the mainstream to help me run, help my comic store stand out, or support local creators, or how to support people in the indie community who don't release like thousands and hundreds and thousands of comics, but only have certain amount of money to release a handful of comics. So one of the things that we had some special covers come through, variances on that, and just amazing, beautiful artwork, man, that got support from our own creators, like this one here, as well as having another one like this one here is from our artist from Sweden who's working on his own comic book right now for us called Zulandia. And I just saw some new art, 4 more pages, I think it was this morning, came through, and I was like, oh gosh, fantasy, fantasy pages for fantasy comic book, right? So Iwa Kim's done 2 versions. He's done a bloody version, and he's done the comic store version. So there are really cool, comics that we're releasing as part of this, and there's going to be like foil cover variances. We're going to have like and they're all full color. And the other thing about the digital, you can buy the digital for like right now for $2.99 in black and white, but it's 36 pages. I'm adding extra 8 pages to this Kickstarter page, so you get pinups in it that are full color, that that are from like the other covers or variations of the other covers, because I feel like, because this is our first release and it's a standalone, which basically means you don't have to, and I just realized I got to change this, this page here, because I'm still working on putting this together, is that you can, you'll be able to not worry about, oh, when are they going to release the next one? I need to read the next one, otherwise I won't get the story. So this is kind of like a standalone, which basically means this is it. You don't have to worry about waiting 6 months for the second part of the story. Right, so you get 2 stories in this, and I think it's a 18-page plus a 16-page. So I think it works out to be about 28 pages of story all up. And so you get one on Earth. So these are the 2 stories. So you got one in space. Yeah, there you go. 16 pages, complete story in space about the Sunkar family. I forgot about the surname of the family yesterday. I think, yesterday, because we had a 4-hour podcast talking about the artwork with that colorist on this book, right? And so I forgot the name. So you got the Sunkar family in space who are basically on a spaceship and they're running out of fuel, right? What do? Mom, dad, and young boy Aaron, right? And so that's that story. Then you've got the other story, which is called, which is the title story, which is Robot Nation, right? And that's about a young Kiwi couple returning from camping on a small isolated island in Whangarei, where I live. And it's just out here where the story is based. It's called Tutakaka. So if you search Tutakaka, you'll actually see the real place, right? And you see the wharf and everything. And so Francisco, who's an amazing artist on this, right? Did some amazing work. He's just brilliant artist from Italy, if I remember right. And he's, beautiful colors on the cover, beautiful art, I should say. And then also our colorist, Edwin Badillo, he's called the Artex on, and we had a whole stream like yesterday, 4-hour stream with him as a guest, and we're just talking about, you know, coloring and stuff like that, and just art in general, and horror movies and all that. So if you guys are interested in that sort of thing, do watch yesterday's stream, which was called I think it was episode 9 of what's cooking at Plunge Comics. So that story, you know, is basically, you know, young couple, you know, this is the thing about Robot Nation. It's just it's kind of a world building just for the Robot Nation story itself. Now, the next comic that we've got coming up is set in space, and it's about a mum who's an engineer who's basically been awakened while the big mothership has taken these people to another planet, right at the end of whatever's happened on Earth, and they're traveling out into space. And so some nefarious things happen, and she's been awakened to do stuff, and she's just her there with her pet dog, right, the robot dog. And it's just actually, I kind of wrote it as like a 2-part story for 2 and 3, but I just realized that maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe with the Robot Nation, that we should just do it as standalone stories. So I might actually do a 60-page or something like that, another one shot. And I think that's where I'm going to go with the Robot Nation anthology series. So we do like a whole story, and then we do a short backup story as well that's complete as well. So you get 2 stories. So you can have like a 60-page story or 40-page story, and then you get another story with it as well. And that's keeping with the anthology theme. One of the great things about about doing something like this, it's just I'm able to speculate where the world could go. And because, like I said, because we were just been talking about Star Wars and Star Trek just before, and how I, as a young kid, about 8 years old, I was introduced to the world of Star Trek on a Sunday, or I think it was Saturday afternoon, where they played the so-called matinees, right? Here it was like Saturday afternoon matinee shows. And I was just sit there watching this, wherever I was, I'd be like, turn TV on. I remember watching it when my mom used to take us, go visit her friend. Okay, put the TV on, I'm watching it there. So I have a great love for science fiction, and and one of my favorite things, favorite shows, movies of all time is this thing here, right? It's basically Blade Runner is my number one, movie of all time. So for me, doing something like this is a huge, plus, thing for me, because I get to write and work with artists who are so brilliant in their creativity, and we can bounce ideas and create something really cool from that. And like, I mean, I can go to, someone like a friggin' amazing artist like Francisco Conte, go, hey, here's what I'm thinking in my head. Here's what I've written down on paper. Here's some, reference photos. Can you, let's start, what do you think? And he's just, man, like, he did 2 different stories. One is, did art for 2 different stories. So he had to create one on Earth and then switch and then do one in space, right? So you got to draw space, spaceships and stuff like that, colonies on Venus, and then turn around and go, okay, now we're going to draw some trees on Earth, and cars and stuff and robots on Earth. And so, unless you're creating comics and understand what it's like to work with someone of that high caliber, you really don't know what joy that brings to someone like me, as who's writing these things into being, right? Who's dreaming these things up. And so this is the cover A. It just because, like, we basically, and this is something that Rising Sun Comics, they do themselves, is that cover A is always the interior artist cover, right? So if you do the interior art, you get the opportunity to do the cover A. So people, when you're buying the first, the first release cover, you're not getting a bait and switch. So like, oh, you got this gorgeous cover, on the outside, and you go, or whatever it is, right? And then inside you look like, oh, doesn't match the cover on the outside. So that's why we always release a beautiful cover, that's done by the same artist inside. So the artwork here is by Francisco, interior artist, but also the colorist on this is Hugo Aquino, who did the issue, who did the first issue for coloring for Incredigo, which we just released and sent out to our backers. So I'm quite proud of that. And you can see some of that at the start of the show if you're just joining us. We talked about that. And also the other thing there that I didn't talk about the review with my co-host on here, Big Stu, beforehand. I just said, I don't want you to tell me what it is. Let's do it live so I get your honest review. And I think that's the best way to review something as a writer, right? Is to hear from what people think without me having any input into it. Because I think that's clean. It's, it's even though he's a friend, I don't expect him to like do a friend review. I expect him to do an honest review. So you guys can check that out at the start. And I'm just so excited to bring you another comic book. And like I said, standalone, right? 44 pages of beautiful art, 2 stories. And, do join our, do follow our, our page, which is, Plunge Comics on, Plunge Comics. Is it on Plunge Comics NZ or is it Plunge Comics? Yeah, it's Plunge Comics NZ. So there you go. So that is there. And yep, those are some of the amazing work that we, I've also backed. Like one of the things I have is like, I know that people want, if they see your numbers and they go, oh, he's back so much. I actually want to support comics that I like, so that when you look at my, my ones that I've backed, that I believe in those projects, right? I believe in the quality art those projects are coming out. Like some of them I haven't even had a chance to read, like this one here. I'm waiting on the foil so I can actually read and do a review of those. This is our friends over in Australia. This is John Casey, did an interview with him. I like the idea of what he was putting out. That's why I backed this book. Over here, Nick Capone, I backed that because I love the artwork. And I like the idea because he's doing supernatural, because I like supernatural, because I'm doing a horror comic myself, which is based in, around the supernatural heaven. In our Plunge universe, which is what I'm creating, this humongous universe of characters and titles. So you can have like magic, you can have like supernatural beings like angels and demons, and that straight away in that same universe, right? Slowly tied in by a religion, you can have you can have superheroes and villains, vigilantes, right? Slice of life stories about tortoise, right? And people, mythology and stuff like that. And then also in that same universe, you can have vampires and wolves and stuff like that, and it's werewolves and other mythological creatures. And then you turn around and you go, what was the other book we're doing? We're doing a manga series, right, in that same universe as a slice of life fantasy horror, right? And I think because of my love for all these genres, and because I like to tell stories based on the genres, I'm able to bring them all together in this world called, in this fantasy world called universe called Plunge Universe, Plungeverse. And so I am very particular, about supporting work that I believe in, right? And I think that's the same way. I would like people to support me because they believe in the work, and I would love to have support from my friends. But I don't mind my friends don't support my work if they don't believe in my work. But also, if they go, okay, I'll just put a couple bucks aside just because I believe in that, believe in what you're doing. I want honesty in this indie comics creations that I'm creating, because I think I think it's you got to really believe in what you're doing, and you want to get the honest reviews of that. You want to be able to have people critique your work, right? Everything I do, I send out to my friends. Give me your honest reviews, because if I need to fix something, I need to fix it now, not when it's out there, right? And so I'm always particular about, making sure that I am fixing it. I want to hear criticism. I want to hear people critique my work, so that when I get into your hand, right, and as you as a backer, as a supporter of my work, that that I listened to everybody about, that I that I trusted with this work to be honest with me about before I put the final work out. And one of the great things, like I like I say, man, like I have so many amazing people who are doing so much for me just because of love of what I'm doing, right? It's creating great comic books, and I just appreciate them wholeheartedly, right? I put a page out on Kickstarter. Sorry, on. Oh yeah, I was just on Facebook. I was just about to change to what I was going to show you, but Stu, who was just on here, just said congratulations on the Kickstarter as well. So yeah, so I'm going to show you a piece of artwork that I put out as a promotional piece, and I want to show you how much I appreciate my artists, because you never, a lot of people don't understand the connection, because I work with a lot of artists, right? Illustrators, colorists, and I value every one of them deeply, because I know as an artist myself, right, who does sculptures, who does paintings, who designs the characters, who looks at every aspect of what those characters are like, even down to logos, even down to each way the page is structured, where the adverts, right, the promotional for other comics are placed in a comic book. I'm hands-on 100% in that, right? Nobody else does it. I'm the one who goes and puts it all together. I do the lettering, I do the bubbles, I design the book, I design the logos, I put the names of the people in there, I do the thank yous. Like this week I said to because Edwin just joined in the last 2 weeks, and I said, I need a thank you from you to put in the credits in the first, interior cover, the credits page. There's like a, who's doing it, the rights and all that, copyright stuff, and then it goes in there. This and this does this part, that part, then goes a thank you. And also, because I also want a bio so I can attach it to the comic book, so that when you get this, it's a full, complete book. And a lot of times it takes a long time to put that all together. And so I'm like working around the clock, making sure that when I'm actually putting this comic book out to you guys, that you guys actually know that I'm actually working in that sort of sense. So as I finish off here, I'm going to show you this really cool little piece of artwork, as to showcase. But I also I've just realized I was supposed to show you some gorgeous Aureola borealis that came out. So here we go. So this is this here. Just to finish off, I want to show you some some stuff here. So this is to showcase my penciler, inker, and also the colorist work. So as you can see, just the way, just to showcase some of the great artwork that we're putting out, that you can see just from a single page, right? The other thing is, of course, I said that we've got 3 translated versions. So you got a Spanish version and you got a Portuguese version. Tomas and Luis, they're doing 2, Spanish and Portuguese. Edwin's the new colorist. Francisco is the penciler and inker on Robot Nation. And of course, I'm the writer, right? And so you guys can, go through and check that out on our pages. It's on Plunge NZ is our Facebook page. And the other thing is that this week we had, yesterday, I think, and I missed out, right? Aureola borealis was across New Zealand. So just in finishing here, I just want to show you some beautiful photography of what I missed out on. And I'm sort of, I'm just so saddened that I missed out on seeing this beauty, natural beauty that came across New Zealand yesterday. But here's, I just want to show you guys as we finish here. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate you guys supporting our channel. And for everybody that's just came across the last couple of days, I really appreciate you guys, supporting us. Thank you for coming on my, subscribing to this channel. And wherever you are, be well, be safe. And if you have a loved one close by, give them a hug and a kiss. Let them know that you care. Kind words, can really help people out sometimes, because, you don't know what people are going through at any given time. So it's, you put aside differences and just, whatever. And the other thing is, like, if they're not close by, let them know through social media. Send a phone call, email, whichever way, text message. Because, like I said, you don't know what people are going through. So a kind word could make their day, right? Put a smile on their face. The way I do it, by sharing images, sharing cartoons, sharing songs, funny memes, whatever it is, artwork. Because I think I want to bring joy into people's life. And a lot of times in pop culture or entertainment sphere, you can become, kind of jaded with what's coming out. So whatever it is that brings you joy, share that out there in the world, in the ether, as they say. So wherever you are, thank you for joining me, and have a great day, evening, night, morning, wherever you are. Ka kite anō. We'll see you next time.